Hey everybody, it's Aaron from Primetime. So, a little bit of an update on the mc6000 mk2. If you have seen this out of the box or you've seen pictures of it online, and you have an mk1, there's a couple things that you need to know. First being that, obviously, this controller is set up natively to be used with Serato, not Virtual DJ. However, I mean, it is compatible with multiple platforms, multiple softwares, so that way you can use it. You just have to map it as such. So, because it is natively supported by Serato, you have to go into Virtual DJ, you have to go in the config menu, and you have to do some mapping. Now, a couple things with that. I've never done any mapping before in my life, ever. So I'm brand new to all this. And there are some manuals, some self-help online in terms of Virtual DJ is concerned, but ultimately, if you've never done this before, I absolutely recommend that you talk to the support staff at Virtual DJ and Denon to really help you get where you need to be. But a couple different things that you probably want to know about, differences between the MK1 and the MK2. One is that obviously the layout's a little bit different. You've got your pitch faders here. You have your booth controls up here now. They kind of move them up and slide them up. All this stuff in here is pretty much the same. The only difference, though, is that from a live sound perspective, everything usually goes in chronological order. But this controller, out of the box, starts up with channel 3, 1, 2, and 4. So it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4. For me, that's confusing, but hey, each to their own. The other thing I'll tell you is that if you do decide you want to map things in chronological order like I did, 1, 2, 3, 4, you also have to do that with your EQ and your gains. Because if you don't, you'll turn up fader 1 and you want to change, the EQ on something. Well, fader 1 goes with EQ in this spot, which I would consider to be number 2. So it's very complex, and you really have to pay attention and do a lot of reading out of the box. Other than that, there's a couple new buttons here. I see we've got channel assign buttons up here. You've got your effects buttons up here with your dials. The fourth one is missing. This button here, it actually does something. It's kind of like a scroller to navigate your song that you're playing. So if you're playing a song you want to go backwards, you turn to the left. If you want to go forwards, you turn to the right. And that kind of mirrors what these guys used to do a long time ago, which is your pitch bend and your fast forward and reverse. That still does work. Difference being is you can't set it to just work. You actually have to hit shift and hold it down to progress along the track. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but we get it done. Other cool features that I saw, if you want to do like a reverse or a slip, you simply hit the sensor slip button and it'll actually play the song in reverse. The cool thing is, though, when you hit that, the song will keep playing and it will pick back up where it left off, which is kind of cool. The platters are pretty good. They seem to be a little bit more sensitive than the last MK1, which is nice, because I am trying to do a little bit more with scratching and blending and juggling and stuff like that. So it is nice to have a little bit more sensitive platter, when it comes to your scratching. Another kind of a pain in the ass thing that I'm really not quite used to, and I'm sure I'll get used to. The mic levels and EQs, just the mic EQs are in the front of this controller, and that's fine because most times you're not really screwing around with those anyway at an event. You listen to the room, you set it, and you're pretty much done. Without maybe some minor adjustments or something if you're doing a toast for a wedding. But over here you've got your monitor controls, your headphone controls. And for me, I use this a lot, especially when I'm mixing and stuff. So it's really kind of an inconvenient place for me. And if you're not looking at it straight on, you could get your knobs mixed up. To the right is your pan for your master and your cue. To the left is your volume. You still do have the split Q function here, so that's nice. But yeah, I mean, everything else pretty much remains the same. It's just a couple of the things, at least for me anyway, are tricky. As I go along, I'll try to make some more videos and let you know how it's going. But if you get this controller, good luck, because it's an adventure. See you next time.